starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
My name is Adesoji Saka. I'm popularly called Saka Organic Foods. I started out on this journey based on my experience, uh, my school experience. I did pure and applied chemistry at Akitola University, where my final year project, we did uh, a project on heavy metals on effluents in Lagos, Apapa, and the surroundings. The result was alarming. I discovered there are a lot of heavy metals within our immediate environment, especially in Lagos, where I did the research for my final year project. And that has always sparked my interest in why are we having so many heavy metals in our environment, especially Apapa and Lagos. The research was very vivid. We were able to discover high rates of heavy metals within the Apapa environment and also in the sea, the surrounding waters, and even the fishes. And so this sparked up my curiosity and wants to do more and led me into organic farming, whereby there's love for the environment, there's love for the food, the food we grow, how we grow them, and also getting good results for our exploits. So this led me into organic farming, and then gradually I run into the works of Masanobu Fukioka. We talked about One Straw Revolution. One Straw Revolution is a huge book for me. It's a Bible of organic for me, and I've always tried to practicalize what it contains and the meaning of Masanobu in the One Straw Revolution, which talks a lot about humans, environment, how to grow food sustainably, and how to really be a good person as a whole. So it's influenced my thinking and also have serious impact on me. And thereafter, I go into different farming systems like biodynamic farming system, whereby we pay attention to the moon and the sun to grow food crops. Then later, I go into Korean natural farming system. The Korean natural farming system give rooms for a lot of inputs that can be produced on the farm by the farmers, and also cut a lot of chemicals on the farm. So I really got really pushed towards that, and then different cultures of farming are explored and brings together to ensure that we are not depending on chemicals to grow our food. We grow them just the way they are. One of my major experience was with Dr. Osude. Because I also do livestock. We have livestock we grow, and those livestock, we grow them without vaccinations and synthetic drugs. Actually, we use herbs and spices. So I tried to convince her about how to grow these beds successfully without, and initially everybody were like, it is impossible to grow birds, poultry without vaccinations and synthetic drugs. But with my research based on the Korean natural farming system and some of the research I did, I knew it is possible, and I've done that time and time again. So I introduced her to this organic farming. Over the years, it took the system off, and then she continued growing organic beds all over the place. And then one day I saw her on TVC promoting organic. And this woman is actually a dentist. So a dentist converted into an organic farmer, growing poultry and then going on national televisions to showcase our produce and packaging them well and selling produce. Is one of the happiest moments to me. And also seeing how she progressed, convincing her immediate environment, because she had a problem initially. The problem was how does she sell her produce? And then I told her, Ma, you live in Magodo. You have people, you have neighbors, talk to them. And then ever since she started marketing this produce, and the people get hooked up to the product because the taste is quite different, and the benefits, then she cannot even meet her demands. So this is one of the happiest moments for being in organic poultry farming. And also I have so many students I have trained who are also training other students. I have people like Negro Farms. Negro Farm is one of the biggest name in organic poultry production. She's one of my very first students, but she's training people. She's doing so well all over Abuja, the northern part. And also we have people like Mrs. Shuemima, the foremost organic farmer in Nigeria, and she sells different types of organic produce. So it has been success all the way for most of the people I've been associated with, and people who have also learned from. So, and then sharing knowledge has been one of my key strengths in organic farming. The reason why I do that, most people may ask me, why are you giving so much and not that? Some people will hold this knowledge. The reason is that I learn more when I give out to people. I learn more because I've done that over time. The moment I give you an information, I give information like 100 people, at least I can get feedback from like 2 other people telling me a different way of doing it. And myself, I've not really gone into a serious process in evaluating those information. So most of the information I give, some people evaluate them and they give me feedback. Then I have more knowledge on how to use some of this information correctly. Nature has already provided all the ingredients for us. It's just for us to leverage on it. Initially, I did a farming system, sack farming system for cucumbers. That was about 16 years ago. This sack farming system, we use cucumbers, we plant cucumbers in sacks and conserve nutrients in the bags. This way we can have more, because cucumbers are nutrient demanding. So we use manure, compost, we use bone meal, and we also have what we call fish hydrolysate, which is fermented fish, which is very high in nitrogen. We have blood meal, which is very high in nitrogen. Depending on the demands of the plant, we have different materials within the environment, because we are knowledgeable enough to know that these materials can supply the right nutrients. We don't need to depend on chemicals, adverse chemicals, to grow our food. We need composting, we need farmyard manure, turning the green leaves. We can actually get excellent results. We know about this, and we compost our green leaves, we compost the manure, we compost the bone meals and all those things, and all those materials can provide real nutrients for our plants. We feed the soil so that the soil can feed the plants. We are not feeding the plants directly. This way, we are going to get excellent results. We've been able to reduce the pest load on the farm by doing 3 systems of pest control. We use the basmati vinegar mix, whereby we spray at the edge of the farm and repel pests from coming into the farm. They find their way into the basmati vinegar. There they go there instead of coming to the plants to have a fill. Then also we have the fruit attractants, which we developed specifically for the pest, for a targeted crop. For maize, we can develop a pest attractant for maize. We can develop a pest attractant for tomatoes. Attractant, instead of the pest we put at the entrance of the farm, instead of the pest going into the field, they are attracted into the fruit attractants, and they are captured, and then we reduce the pest load on the farm. And when we use neem oil and all the rest on the farm, we have excellent results. So we don't need to depend on chemicals. This eco-friendly system helped us seriously to have buoyant results and not get worried with pest attacks and pest suppression. So our dependence on neem is total on this farm. We have the neem soaked in water, where we harvest water from it and spray on the plant. We also have some mix we usually do with the neem, depending on the pest we intend to control. For like instance, for like a maize like this, where we have armyworms disturbing, we use pepper extract. We find chili pepper, hot chili pepper, we extract, mix with the neem, and also garlic extract. We blend up garlic, then we mix and we spray in the middle of the plant to repel and also control pests, especially on the maize. It also helps with fungi buildup and also bacteria as well. So we do the two side by side, because the neem extract combined with the neem oil will help us treat diseases and also treat pests as well on the farm. So we depend solely on these materials, changing them as the needs arises. In delivering the pesticide, the organic pesticide we make, we discover the hand pumped knapsack sprayer do not deliver well enough the pesticides to the plant. It gives room for a lot of errors. So we leverage on having automatic sprayers. So the automatic sprayers comes with good punch. Apart from using the chemical contents in some of these organic materials like the neem, we also need the force to daze the pest as well. So we employ automatic sprayer to enable us do that. And also, we have a very large farmland, and if you are spraying, we have to, for instance, you are spraying early in the morning and want to spray all this, the knapsack sprayer can be too cumbersome and can reduce effectiveness of the workers where fatigue and all those things set in. But with the automatic sprayer, we're able to spray the whole area within hours. Within 1 hour, we can spray almost 4 acres of plant effectively, and we get results for what we've done. So with the manual sprayer, we discover we are not getting good results, but with the automatic sprayer, where we start the sprayer and then it delivers those things, we get excellent results. So we've been able to leverage on technology. So also we have irrigation technology. Is an Israeli technology where the emitters drop water directly to the root of the plant. So through irrigation, we can actually deliver nutrients on a need, as the need arises based on the health of the plant. For here, we do not, we depend on rain-fed on the maize farm. But on the tomato farm, we did irrigation so that we can supply nutrients through fertigation, whereby we mix the neem and also the emitters drop roots precisely at the root base of the plant where they get the nutrients. So we conserve water and also be able to achieve a lot with the delivery. Yes, there are some situations. Sometimes I consult, most times with farmers, and some farmers who do organic, we want to maintain their organic status, but they have, for instance, huge pests on their farm that is killing their pests and killing their plants, and they want a control. But most of the farmers around do not have the knowledge of how this thing can be done. So most of the advice they give to the farmers will be, we use chemicals, we use all these things. So this has always been a constraint. Training those farmers to understand that there are also ways we can actually do pest control organically that is even more effective than chemicals. Like the outbreak of Tuto absoluta, the leaf miners that resulted into scarcity of tomatoes in Nigeria. Organic, in our farm, we've been able to control this effectively because we capture the leaf miners that breed first, and then reduce pest load, and we do not have issues with Tuto absoluta. So the farmers, the work hands, are just more of a problem because they have a system. Converting them into organic can be a serious challenge. because they have this fast way of doing things. But for organics, a bit slower, but at the end, you can get results if you work seriously at it. Yes, for organic farms, what I've experienced over the years is that in conventional system, when you grow crops, you introduce inorganic fertilizer, you introduce the NPK, you introduce the urea. For 3 years, after 3 years, you can't grow again on that same land. No matter the nutrient you apply, you need to open up another land. So you see conventional farmers moving all the time. But for organic farmers, because we take care of the soil, we nourish the soil, year in, year out, we continue to farm on that same soil because we do not kill the microorganisms in the soil. We nurture them. But with chemicals, for conventional farmers, they kill the microorganisms in the soil. And then, even if you apply nutrients, the plants can't get nutrients anymore for that plant. So no matter the fertilizer you apply, after 3 years, you need to open up another land. Now, the cost of doing this, especially in the Southwest, can be seriously huge, where we have a lot of trees, where you need to fall trees, open up a new farm. In the North, it can be easier, but in the Southwest here, it is always very difficult to open a new farmland. 1 acre, you need to cut trees and do so many things. But for organic farmers, we are here because we take care of the soil, we put in manure, we know the value, the quantity. We do what we call nutrient budgeting. Nutrient budgeting is from this farm, we know the volume of harvest we are taking from this farm. If we are taking 250 kg of produce from this farm, we know that we are introducing manures worth more than 250 kg into this soil to compensate for those lost in nutrients. So this way, we keep having our soil intact and not moving all over the place like the conventional farmer do. In the long run, it is quite sustainable to farm organically than going into conventional farming system, whereby you start moving from one farm to the other, opening new environment because you have actually destroyed the one you should have been protecting in the first place. So for us, we protect the environment, we protect the soil, and then it yields for us. But for conventional farmers, they move all over the place. Yeah, for organic farmers who really want to get this thing right, they need the knowledge, they need to understand the basis. The basis has to do with taking care of the environment. The environment will take care of the plants. The plants, the result will be the food we get from it, which are high quality, more better than the one treated with chemicals and pesticides all over the place. So this way, with that knowledge, then the farmers can now start seeking more knowledge on the crop of interest. I will advise farmers to start with different crops on a small scale. Usually what I experience, some crops are easier to manage for some certain type of people based on their experience. I don't know why this is always like that, but some people may just discover, oh, sweet pepper works for me. But you can only get to know this if you have done sweet pepper, maize on a small scale, and you see the ones that really work for you. You see the one you have passion for. You see the one that respond to the way you want to manage it. This way, you are not going to be farming crops that will give you problem. So you are farming crops that you know in and out can respond. For me, I can farm cucumbers closing my eyes, and I can tell you what is happening to any cucumber at any point in time because I love it and I've been very close to it. So a farmer should get a niche, but you need to start with different crops to know that. Then animals on the farm is very crucial for organic farm so that they can create a balance. We are having livestock on this farm very soon so that we can now source our own manure from the birds. We keep them on a free range, and so it supports what we do. So we are not buying anything. We can get inputs directly from the farm ourselves, and not the limited inputs we are getting will be just one or two things from the outside. So we can sustain ourselves very well and get results for what we do. Yeah, I do a lot of research, and then I I look at reasons why some certain things are done the way they are. Then I need to break those things down and then explore how better we can do it. So most of the times I look at the simple things that works in nature. For instance, I discover that some plants, weeds, how do weeds survive pest attack? Because they are also prone to attack. So how do they survive? I discovered that some weeds grow in large numbers together in colonies, so that once the pests come, they cannot have that breakdown, total breakdown from the attack. They can sustain themselves and grow. So we can also grow crops in that manner. We can grow ewedu in large clusters. Even when pests come, it will not affect. That means the spacing. I discover in nature, these I observed very recently, that the spacing can also play a crucial role for attack, especially for some certain plants. So this way, I try to learn from nature. I try to learn from observations, try to learn from so many things. I read online, I put so many things in practice. For instance, like the Zai farming system. Recently, I discovered about the Zai farming system, whereby you don't need to do more of irrigation. All what you do is to put hose and put your manure and plant your crops. So when the rain falls towards the tail end of the year, you don't need to irrigate those plants. Those plants will not suffer drought from lack of rain. It will not happen. So they do that in Sudan, Niger, and all those things. So these practices, I've experienced a worse scenario on the field where a man grew 300 hectares of soya beans, and then by November, rain refused to fall. And those crops get burnt on the field. So in this way, if you had done Zai farming, the little rain that had fallen in August and all that will sustain the soya beans to grow to the end of their life cycle. By December they are harvesting. So this way we read a lot, borrow ideas from different culture. Like I mentioned, the KNF, the Korean Natural Farming System. They do a lot of natural farming system that we can adopt to our own system. We also have the Jadam farming system. The Jadam farming system also introduced different inputs, working with microorganisms, working with different inputs. So this knowledge base is there in the public, and we can take advantage of it, learn critically how we can adapt to our own system.